Hello everyone and welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. It's getting chillier, everything's kind of closing down and getting colder and many other things in 2020. But this is Caol Ila Distiller's Edition. I don't think we've reviewed a Caol Ila on this channel since maybe when we used to shoot in the whiskey jar and we reviewed a small Elements of Islay, Caol Ila, which was so good the barman convinced me to buy one. So that's how good that whiskey was. And I think we reviewed Caol Ila 18 in the past when we used to film this channel in my old flat on Chapel Street in Salford. So it's been a long time coming, but here we are with a limited but fairly regular yearly release in the Caol Ila Distiller's Edition. Now all this is, it's Caol Ila 12, which is a much loved, adored peated whiskey, medium peated whiskey from the Isle of Islay, from Isla's biggest distillery. It's finished for roughly, I think, 6 months in Moscatel wine casks, and all that's going to do is add a further creaminess and sweetness to what is already a very creamy, rich and slightly sweet peated style. Caol Ila roughly produces around 7 million litres of whiskey a year, most of it actually being unpeated for the Johnnie Walker blended styles. Occasionally they've released a unpeated whiskey in the Diageo special releases at cash strength. This is only pulling in at 43%. It is chill filtered and it isn't natural colour. But as far as peat goes, it delivers on many different fronts. I believe this is 2018's batch, and it does just say that on the front there, on the bottom of the bottle, and a little bit on the front of the box as well. Not the biggest thing in the world, but it technically is a vintage whiskey, even though it carries no technical age statement. But it's Caol Ila, we know what to expect, but let's dive into the nose and see what's happening. Fairly typical, but always good. A huge hit of like seaweed, kind of algae. All these green, coastal, beachy, salty, wonderful things. But behind that, with a lot of bourbon cask influence, there's loads of caramel and toffee, bit of vanilla. And the Moscatel adds almost, even though it's peated, adds almost like a salted caramel to it, a richness, a fudginess. Even at 43%, it's a little bit fizzy on the nose. I'm not putting my nose too far into the glass, but it is a little bit dominant in its alcohol. I'm muching away of a bottle of Caol Ila called the Caol Ila Mock, which I'm not sure if they make anymore. There's a nice lemony coastal twist to it. You'll find with most peated whiskies, be they medium, light or heavy, they do have this kind of lemon freshness to them. Even things like Lafroig and bourbon cask Lagavulin as well. Yeah, salty, seaweed, creamy, coastal, fudgy, toffee, just wonderful classic Caol Ila noses. But taste? Initially very maritime. Olives, olive brine, really salty like endive vegetables. Things like kelp, more seaweed again. Vegetal, salty, coastal, flotsam and jetsam sort of tastes. Kind of biscuity nature to it. It isn't the oldest whiskey in the world, you expect a bit of barley to come through, but almost like a digestive biscuit, that nice mix of salty sweetness that you get with them, and like a nice big crunch. Finish reverts back to how it starts. Olives, maritime salt, kind of coastal breeze, but a nice coating, again slightly minerally, chalky kind of flavour. It's almost like powdered sugar, kind of gets everywhere. One more taste and then we'll score it. It's a nice alternative expression of Caol Ila. It comes in quite pricey for what it is. It is a 12-year-old product, approaching 13, but it's like £75 pretty much everywhere in the UK. which is a lot for something that's 12 years old. But as it's only released once a year, I believe a couple of years ago it used to be just matured in sherry casks. It's only in the last sort of 5 or 6 years these Moscatel releases have been available. This is one of my nearest and dearest friends' favourite whiskies. But nonetheless, that doesn't affect my view. I think it's a very solid style. If you love Caol Ila, if you love Ardbeg, if you love Islay in general, this whiskey will do a lot for you. And as a distiller's edition, part of that Diageo cloud of distiller's editions, it's probably my favourite in that style, along with like the Cragganmore port cask, the Lagavulin Pedro Jimenez sherry finish. But a delicious whiskey, a solid 8. You can't go wrong with it. It's just really well made peated whiskey in a classic Caol Ila fashion with a slight twist of sweetness from Moscatel wine, but a fantastic expression from a huge distillery. So yeah, a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.